multi-day trekking in the wilderness can be very intimidating. So this is why we're going to be showing you in 3 different steps how to get ready. So we'll show you how to do your route planning, meal prepping, as well as what kind of equipment you might want to bring with you.
Hey guys, so we're going on another adventure. Guess where we're going?
When you're doing your route planning, you want to calculate a few different things, such as your hiking speed. And everyone's hiking speed is a little bit different and will change depending on what type of terrain you're hiking on, as well as how much elevation gain or loss. Most of the time you hike about 5 kilometers per hour on flat terrain. But as soon as you start doing something like the long range traverse, which is that wilderness route, you're going to be going much slower, as well as trying to find your route if you don't have a trail. So with this one, I did a bit of calculations. So you create something like this, some sort of route plan, which you're going to have all your distances, different geographical bearings, so that you can estimate how fast, how much terrain you're actually going to be covering. And something else with route planning that you really want to make sure you consider is that true north or geographic north is not the same thing as your magnetic north. Your geographic north is like at the top of your map, or when you follow your lines on the earth, it's right at the tip. But in reality, the actual magnetic field goes to an island in northern Canada, which is called Ellesmere Island, which is about 500 kilometers away from the true north. So you want to make sure that you read your inclination, magnetic inclination, and that you adjust your compass. One of the most important things when you're doing those kind of hikes is to really plan well. So when you have your route plan all figured out, make sure you print a copy for yourself to bring along, and leave a copy with a good friend of yours that could get help for you if you end up being stuck or being delayed somewhere or injured. So it's always good to let people know about your itinerary, what the plan is anyways, because things can change in the mountains.
We're hiking to the back of the Western Brook Pond to see the spectacular view back there. I've never seen it. Alex has already seen it. But more importantly, what I'm here to show you right now is all of these awesome snacks. We're going to be going through a little bit of what we've geared up for a meal plan. Alex has gone through some painstaking work of figuring out all of the weight of each item and how many calories it'll provide us with. So we know that we're getting a lot of calories. Right now it's really cold weather, so we need to eat pretty much double what we need to eat in the summertime. You might only need like 3,000 calories a day during the summertime, but here in the winter you might need closer to 6,000 calories. And of course that depends on the person and their weight. A few different goodies that we're gonna throw together in a trail mix. Alex already made hers, so I'm going to throw mine together. But just quickly what I have in here, we're going to throw some apples. Dried apples are always preferred over fresh apple. It's way heavier. Anything that's heavy essentially you don't want to bring with you, so you want dried out stuff. And if you want to bring that special sandwich or whatever you have in mind that's a little bit fresher, then maybe just eat it on the first day. That way your backpack's a little bit lighter. We got some your whatever preferred chocolate you might like. We got a little bridge mix here, some M&Ms, chunks of chocolate over here. We're gonna actually just break up a big chocolate bar like this and jam it in with all of our mixture of other things here. We also got some peanuts, loads of almonds, some pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and some cashews as far as nuts. And then we also got some superfood goji berries. Oh, and we also got mangoes, some dried mangoes. Not the candied ones, but like just the straight up dried mangoes. These are really good. Also, we got some beef jerky that I made yesterday. Actually, I made it the night before, chopped it up from a chunk of meat, and dried it out in the dehydrator after spicing it and throwing in some barbecue sauce and a few goodies in there, leaving it overnight, and then putting it in the dehydrator yesterday. So now we got some jerky for our trip, some nice purse meat. Other than all these nuts, of course. Here's Alex's mixture. She actually has a little bit more over here. This is essentially 1 day's worth here, and this would be the other 4 days. The beautiful thing about making your own trail mix is you can add whatever you want, just like what we're doing here. If you want, if you're like me and you want a little more chocolate, just feel free to throw that in there.
No raisins.
Yeah, no raisins. Not like the ones you buy at the store where you get you throw your hand in there and all you have is raisins. It's nice to have a nice variety of whatever you really like.
5 days worth of food. Woo! Super excited. So on that side we have all the suppers and desserts. Then this middle one here is all of our lunches, all of the snacks, and the breakfast over there. And we're not going to be carrying water for every single day, so those are pristine pills. It purifies your water and kills any viruses. So there's a few ways of cleaning your water. You can either use some pristine tablets, iodine, there's some water filters as well. Or the best way is to just boil the water. But then you go through a lot of fuel.
What happens when you're out in the cold and you know the fog rolls in or something and you're there unexpectedly an extra day or maybe 2. So it's always good to have a little bit of extra food. So that's what this is, just some really light stuff that will kind of give us, you know, a little bit of something extra in case of an emergency. When you're stopping for lunch, when it's cold out, you don't really want to stop. You're not going to be as keen to hang out and just, I mean, sure, you want to enjoy the view and whatnot, but you want snack food. You don't want something, you don't want to have to sit down and boil up your kettle and do anything like that. You just want a quick snack. So, I mean, what we're choosing is just a little bit of dried meats here with some cheese and a little bit of cracker. Before I show you what we're gonna be eating for supper, I'll just show you Alex's hearty mix here for breakfast. Lots of different things from chia seeds to oats, coconut, all sorts of goodies in here. If you're curious, I'm sure you can message us down below and Alex will let you know what her secret recipe is. Before I jump into dinner, let's talk about dessert, because dessert's always awesome. We got some coconut balls with chocolate and peanut butter. These, I had one the other day. They're really good, so I'm excited to have these on our trip as well. Also, for when you're out in the backcountry, it's always nice to have like a hot beverage of some sort. So, you know, a tea of some sort in a thermos is always nice to have. It just kind of gives you that extra up and go. But in the mornings, I always drink coffee. It's not necessarily recommended because it does dehydrate you. But as long as you're drinking enough water to compensate, I guess it kind of balances out. I've got a little bit of sugar here and powdered milk. On to supper. We got some chorizo sausage to mix in with whatever supper we plan to make. One of those suppers is some Mexican mash. This is seems to be Alex's patented backcountry go-to meal. It's really awesome. Basically just some dried mashed potatoes and a few other goodies in here. Again, I'm sure you can message us down below if you want to know some more. And then we got some pasta. We're gonna make some pesto pasta, minus the jar. We're not gonna bring the jar. Keep that out. Always less weight, right? And we got some sun-dried tomatoes in here, as well as some Parmesan. So it's gonna be awesome.
This is our kitchen for the backcountry. So we've got 2 pots, one for cooking and one for water, or when we need to have 2 pots, it's always nice. Then this is our little coffee machine. So you pretty much just put your filter in there, put your coffee grinds, pour some hot water, and that lays on our thermos. And then it's just kind of drip coffee type of thing. And then you just collapse the whole thing. So it's super small, super light, makes some decent coffee. It's not espresso coffee, but it's still pretty good. And then those are our bowl for eating, or plates. And you also have measuring quantities on this, which is really convenient. And there's a lid, so it's nice when you want to carry also stuff that you don't want it to spill. Little ladle, spoon to stir, cook and all. Our sporks, spork, spoon, fork, and knife. And then a little pocket knife, really, that's always good to have with you. And then this is just some lighter, little scrubby, and some Purell for our hands. Then I've got some white gas for the stove, 3 bottles of it. And this is our cooking stove for the backcountry. So it's an MSR Wildly International stove, which is pretty much indestructible, super small, really light. Now I'm going to be showing you a little bit of the emergency equipment, electronics, first aid and all those kind of things. So if we start off on this side, this is pretty much the navigation. So I've got my little Write and Rain waterproof paper that I take notes of everywhere that we're going, how long it takes, itinerary and all that. Then I have my topo map, a backup of the map because it is paper, and all of this goes in a Ziploc bag so that it actually stays dry. And if this failed because we don't have good visibility, I have an app, Terra Map, which is only $4. Awesome map that tracks everywhere that you go, tells you where you are. But it is an app on a cell phone, so I don't fully trust this. So I will rely on a GPS if we really don't have good visibility. But my favorite one really is the compass, because map and compass is just, you can spread it out, it can be all big and you see everything versus a mini screen. That's pretty much a little mini first aid kit with a bunch of different blister stuff, band-aids, heating pads, elastic bands. That's like one of those things I'm always going to bring with me. So anyways, I've got a few little things, some Advils, just in case there's something that's really painful. For you ladies, Divacup is the savior. I won't go in details, but look it up. Divacup for your period. Some little garbage bags, bigger garbage bags. Always good to have to keep some dry stuff. You want to make sure you bring some toilet paper for the woods. Sunglasses, because it will be sunny, hopefully. And then for our lighting, we use some really good headlamps. Actually, you can check out our review on the Actik Petzl headlamp. We'll put a link somewhere up there. And something that my mom gave us is that little solar light which inflates and lights up the whole tent. It's awesome solar power, so it just doesn't die. We're going to be doing some filming, so there's a bit more stuff that we are bringing comparing to a lot of people. So there is your battery pack, then a bunch of batteries for the camera, extra batteries for headlamps, for the electronics. Then next on the list is the Spot Connect. So this thing is really awesome because when you're out in the backcountry, especially in Newfoundland, there's not much reception with your cell phone. So if you hurt yourself or you need help, you probably won't be able to get a hold of anyone. So this thing actually turns your cell phone into a satellite phone. And it's also connected to emergency search and rescue and all that. Then we also have glow sticks, toothbrush, that's easy to pack, and it carries your little toothpaste tube. Fire starter if the lighter doesn't work. That's my mini little fishing rod, so tiny. And a bit of repair stuff like patches and sewing things. Little glue for patching things, tie wraps, those things. So that's the little repair kit. And the bear spray. Hopefully we won't get a bear. I don't want to end up just like back in the Lewis Hills with a bear that kind of took the whole night just exploring around our tents and kept us up. So hopefully nothing this time. And one water bottle of a liter, because in Newfoundland there's a lot of water, so you really don't need to carry that much water with you. you're better off to just have only a liter and then use some Pristine or any filtration system to make sure your water is good drinkable. And the duct tape. That saves your life. This is what our home looks like. We have some lovely thermos inflatable mattresses, so they're really small, fairly light, and works awesome. And if you patch your mattress with the inner tube fixing kit of a bike, it actually lasts exactly 8 years from mine. And then we also have some really thin foam pads because there is some snow on the ground right now, so it might be nice to have a little bit of an extra insulation. And the other great thing about those is that when you're walking around in the fall / pretty much winter, because it's almost December, it's nice to have something to sit on because everything's really wet and snowy. So that's really convenient thing, super light. So we actually have 2 really different types of sleeping bags, Corey and I. I have a down -18, pretty much winter sleeping bag, which is really light, really packable, really warm. But down, if it gets wet, you can become a little cold because it won't really keep your heat. And Corey has a synthetic, I think it's -12 sleeping bag. So it's quite a bit heavier. Doesn't pack as much. Mine pretty much turns into a volleyball size. But if it gets wet, Corey's actually gonna stay dry and, well, not dry, warm. So anyways, there's pros and cons to both types of sleeping bags, but I really like mine. And this is the actual home. So this is a 2-person tent, 3-season tent. I do not own a 4-season tent because they are quite a bit heavier, and most of the sleeping that I do is more in the summer, spring and fall. I do some winter camping with my 3-season tent, and then I have a bunch of rope with it because the hike we're going to be doing, even though it is a backcountry hike without any trails, you still have some wooden platforms to put your tent on, so pegs won't really work, so you need to tie it down. And in Newfoundland it gets really windy. And the other thing with those ropes, which is really useful, is that you can make a bear hang with a dry bag, this, and a beaner. What's the most important part of the equipment for hiking? Your feet! So you want to make sure you have some good hiking boots, and we actually just waterproof all of them with some Vaseline before heading out. We'll put a link to how to actually clean and waterproof your boots, but this is really, really important. Keep your feet dry and comfy. And the other good thing is to wear some gaiters around your boot and your legs, so it turns your hiking boots into almost rain boots, winter boots. Almost. Another really good piece of equipment is hiking poles. So when you're hiking, you have a lot of weight on your back, so it's really important to try to save your knees as much as you can. And with hiking poles, you're gonna reduce the strain on your knees of like 20% more or less. So it's really good to have these. And something nice about those ones is that instead of having to carry extra weight for a tripod for the camera, you just unscrew this and put it on. So I have an Arc'teryx Ultra 62 liters, and Corey has a Deuter, I don't remember the name, but it is a 60 liter as well. So we both have pretty big backpacks so that we can carry everything. And you want to make sure you have some whistles so that you can call your friend if you lost him, because he's a crazy monkey who goes exploring all over the place. And I really like to have a little thermometer to know what kind of temperature we're experiencing before getting out of the sleeping bag. And then, well, backpacks, even though they're really expensive, they're not really fully waterproof. So you might want to put a rain cover over the top. So we both have little rain covers. And if it starts pouring on us, those dry bags is what's going to cover the most important things, like electronics.
So much clothes. Look at all this clothes, guys. It's kind of hard camping in the winter or in the cold compared to in the summer. You got a lot more to carry. It'll be nice and warm.
So now that you're ready and have mastered the 3 different steps for hiking in the backcountry, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our adventures and future tips.